Greetings. So you have to do a border run. Let me introduce myself. My name is Desi Kushnerik. I'm a senior citizen with my wife Sherry, who's off camera, who's very seldom ever in front of the camera. And we have been vacationing in Thailand for, as I make this video, roughly 2.5 months. So we came into Thailand with the standard, this is 2022/23, 45-day entrance tourist visa. And we thought that we were gonna get a 30-day renewal and then one more 30-day renewal. That was our bad. It turns out that as we speak, as we're making this video, you currently arrive with a 45-day tourist visa, then you're allowed one 30-day extension, and then after that, you got to get out of Dodge. So we found out that we had to do a border bounce or border run, or we had to leave the country. And there's all kinds of information out there. It's really fairly confusing at times. And so after some research and checking around various blogs and Facebook things, we decided to take a border run from Chiang Mai to Laos, and we would go to the Chiang bridge that is between Thailand and Laos. We chose a company by the name of Chiang Mai Visa Run. They seem to have good reviews on some of the Facebook things that we're reading. And so they're not paying us in any way, shape, or form. They just happen to be the company we chose, and we found that dealing with them was super easy. We spoke most of the time with a fellow that I believe had a kind of a French accent, but everything was pretty straightforward. They described the process, and then they sent us an email which then showed all of the things that they said that we were going to have to do step by step, and that if we wanted to initiate the tour or the trip, we would put a deposit down, which was done through my wife just ran by in the background because she was holding back a sneeze to be quiet. It's just funny. Anyhow, so we made the deposit, and then the process was pretty straightforward. We just did it through I think it was a PayPal transfer, and that itself was not a big deal. And I'm not saying that there's better ways or this is the right way or the only way. I'm just saying this is the way that worked for us, and you'll see why in a second. So when we were dealing with the company, there was a couple of choices. We could have went with a group. And if I'm not mistaken, the rate was $2,000 or 2,000 baht per person there and back, and no more than 8 people in the group. Or we could hire a private vehicle for 6,000 baht for us, and they would just pick us up right at the condo. We chose the second option, and when that came around, that turned out to be a pretty nice ride for us. It was a full-size tourist van. You could have had 8-10 people in there, but there was just 2 of us. Diesel vehicle, super nice driver. We were told by the email that the driver would only speak Thai, but he actually had some pretty good English to him, and we were able to communicate any needs and things. So that's the company's name that we chose, and the process would go like this: pick you up at your condo, drive the 4.25 hours to the border, dropped you off at the border. He instructed you go there, clear through the customs. Once you're through the customs, you're going to be buying a bus ticket to get on a bus, which then drives you 5 minutes across the border, and then you enter Laos. And once you get off the bus in Laos, you walk up and you declare that you are entering, or you're coming there. And at this point, there's a couple of options. And the Laos border agent asked us, are you returning to Thailand or are you staying in Laos? And we informed him that we were just doing a border run. We were returning right away back to Thailand. So he then said, okay, that'll be $1,800 or 1,800 baht per person for the visa stamp from Laos. And then he instructed us to move over to window 2, which was a few feet to our left. We waited at window 2 for 3-4 minutes, maybe 5 tops. We saw him walk by in the background. He popped out the side door of that little office and said, "Here are your passports." We could see clearly that there was a Lao visa now adhered to the page in the passport. And then he said, "You can see I've marked you out, and go over there, buy your bus ticket to get back to Thailand." Of which we walked over and we bought the bus ticket, got on the bus, went back to Thailand. Hi, it's me again. Post production insert. We had neglected to describe the process coming back into Thailand. So once we left Laos, got on the bus and then crossed and got off at the border crossing for Thailand, we had to fill out some paperwork, which was a TM7. I think sometimes you have to do that when you get off the plane. We didn't on this particular trip. But anyhow, we had to fill that out, which indicated where we were staying and some of that typical information, passport numbers and that. And then after that, they stamped our passports, which now gives us another 45-day tourist visa, which would allow, at the end of that, us to go for a 30-day extension. And then once again, you'll have to deal with the leaving the country for another one of these things. And I think that you're only allowed 2 of these by land, but I believe it's an unlimited number when you're coming in by plane, or I'm not sure boat counts, I don't really know. But anyhow, for our vacation, this one will be all that we're requiring, and thanks for allowing me to insert this in there so I get the message across correctly. Bye. Our driver was waiting for us, and then we came home. And the longest part of the whole thing, short of the 4.25-hour drive there, was probably waiting for the buses to cross the border there and back. I think in each case we waited maybe 5-10 minutes. But the processing of getting out of Thailand and the process of getting our stamp and visa in Laos and then coming back was relatively quick. So if you're looking for the straight facts, these are them, and these are how we were prepared by the company. So as I said, the company name was Chiang Mai Visa Run. The drive was from Chiang Mai to the Lao Cheng Kong Bridge, Friendly Bridge or Friendship Bridge. Bus fare going to Laos was 20 baht, and I might say that the bus going to Laos was a nice bus and in really good order, very comfortable, very clean, and it relatively newer inside. The bus ride coming back from Laos to Thailand was 25 baht per person. The bus, not quite as new, not quite as clean, and not quite as pretty, but still comfortable enough. You're only on it for 4 or 5 minutes. And then the already stated once before, 1,800 baht is the cost of a Lao visa. You can pay for that in US dollars. It is recommended that if you do use US dollars, those better be nice, new, crisp bills. If they are not, they will reject them. So you want to be cautious of that. They actually do prefer to be paid in baht. Make sure your passport has 2 blank pages, and of course that it's within that 6 months before it expires thing. Otherwise, you'll have some issues with that. I recommend that you have all of your currencies in the correct amounts. That being said, if you require 1,800 baht to purchase a visa, then have 1,800 baht, because you may run into that, well, I don't really have change thing. I'm not saying that can happen, but if you go with what is required, then there is no surprises, and then nobody's feeling hurt because they didn't quite get back what they were expecting. We had with us, we didn't require on this, 2 passport photos per person in the appropriate 2-inch by 2-inch passport size. Recommend that you bring some snacks and drinks. Although with this company, they did indicate in advance that you would be getting a stop there and back for bathroom break. And the driver, I think, stopped about 1/3 of the way there at a nice little coffee side where there was some snackage, clean bathrooms. And then we went through, and then on the way back, I would say probably halfway back is where he stopped for us to get a break. And we actually went to a really nice little coffee shop along the way. And pardon me, our driver was more than willing to even stop at Chiang and show us the White Temple, but we had already seen it. So I can't say it's going to be the same with all companies, and it definitely probably wouldn't be the case if you were in group travel. And it wouldn't hurt to also have the proof of departure when you're re-entering Thailand. Normally, some of that stuff is asked when you get off the plane or whatever. Where's the place you're staying and your duration, kind of a thing. It wasn't required when we went, but it could be, and it doesn't hurt to have that kind of documentation with you. So I think that pretty much covers it. It was really a very straightforward process. Don't let people confuse you. Now, I have to also add, every border crossing is different. We've discovered that in the queries, but we were also getting information like, oh no, you're going to have to spend 2-3 days in the other country before they let you bounce back in. And I'm not saying that that's not true. It might be for some border crossings, but dealing with this company here in Chiang Mai, and there's others like them, they were pretty straightforward, saying, no, we are doing this all the time. You go, you cross, you do the thing, you pay your dollars, and then you come back, and it's just that simple. So I hope that clears it up. So if any of you other old farts, such as us, find yourself having to deal with a border bounce or border run, and you're not really sure, well, here it is. We just did it. We completed this run on February the 2nd or 3rd, and that's 2023. So that should give you some indication of the freshness of this trip, and I think that's all I've got to say. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments below. I'm fairly new at this YouTube thing, so it may take me a little bit to figure out how to answer you, but like I said, happy travels, and thanks for tuning in.